the redesign of Donkey Kong. It's something that's hard to not notice. If you've been a fan of Donkey Kong over the years, or heck, even if you've just been exposed to Donkey Kong fairly recently. Even as recent as when they showed off the Super Nintendo world, and Miyamoto met up with the definitely real, actual Donkey Kong. Dang, Donkey Kong's pretty big. The redesign is a pretty drastic change in my opinion, that I think is kind of hard to just dismiss. With this redesign, has come varying opinions. Some people don't mind the change at all. Some people have said that it's barely even a change. And then there are some people that are pretty upset over it. My personal experience with the redesign was kind of all over the place. When I first saw the redesign that Donkey Kong had in the Mario Bros. Movie, I felt kind of whatever about it, because I figured it would only be in the Mario Bros. Movie. But then, we got the trailer for the Switch 2, that first look trailer. And when we saw what we now know as Mario Kart World, and we saw that character, you know the one, I didn't know how to feel. I think I may have even speculated at the time that it might not even have been Donkey Kong. I thought maybe it could be an alternate costume for Donkey Kong, and this is like the Mario Bros. Movie version of Donkey Kong. But then later we found out that this was Donkey Kong. At that time, I definitely wasn't the biggest fan of the redesign. And I was kind of afraid if this design would change the tone of Donkey Kong games going forward. But then I also thought maybe this is only for Mario Kart? There were so many questions. But then as time went on, we did know in fact, this was Donkey Kong, and this was the redesign. But we didn't know anything else when it came to the new design, when it came to new Donkey Kong games. But then, we got the big banana.
Oh, banana.
We got the final game announcement of the Switch 2 Direct. And it was Donkey Kong Bonanza, baby. We got a final game announcement for a new console to be a Donkey Kong game. That's amazing. In this trailer, we saw that Donkey Kong was indeed changed to the new design. And it definitely felt weird at first. But honestly, I'm totally on board with it now. I think that if Nintendo wanted to give Donkey Kong a makeover, then this was the way to do it. A new 3D Donkey Kong game with an entire new world to explore. I think had they tried to do another 2D Donkey Kong game, and they did the redesign there, I'm not sure if I would have been as sold on this new design. But seeing how Donkey Kong reacts to things in Bonanza, and just the overall presentation, I really want to dive into this new game. And the redesign was able to grow on me, without even playing the game yet. I feel like the reason Nintendo gave Donkey Kong a new look could be one of two things, or a mix of these two things. One reason could be that Nintendo just wanted to give Donkey Kong a fresh start, and try something new. And another reason could be that Nintendo wanted Donkey Kong to feel like theirs again. Considering the design that has been used for a long time now was from the Donkey Kong Country series, which was made by Rare, who was bought out by Microsoft, it would kind of make sense to me that Nintendo wouldn't want to keep using a design from a company that isn't a part of their games anymore. What's interesting about this, though, is that it feels like they only care about Donkey Kong when it comes to this design debacle. Because we know that Cranky Kong is in Bonanza, and he looks like the Rare design. They didn't give him a redesign. It's kind of crazy how much of a roller coaster I was put on with a video game character having a redesign. But I really was on one. I was upset at first, and now I'm totally fine with it. I feel like it's grown on me more and more as time has gone on. And again, I haven't even played the game yet. It's also interesting how much presentation can affect things as well. I genuinely was concerned when I first saw the redesign in the first Switch 2 trailer. But then when I saw him in Donkey Kong Bonanza, the redesign started to grow on me. I honestly do wonder though, if the redesign wouldn't have grown on me if we only had Mario Kart World, and there was no new Donkey Kong game in sight. If Mario Kart World was the only time we had that new Donkey Kong design, and we had that for months and months and months, maybe even years, I really don't think I would have been as on board with that new design if we didn't get Bonanza. That Bonanza trailer really did change things for me. And it's funny because now when I look at Mario Kart World, I'm totally fine with the redesign. So it's really interesting how the presentation of Donkey Kong Bonanza really did change my opinion. There's also a chance that maybe I would have gotten more okay with it as time went on with Mario Kart World. But if there was no Bonanza in sight, no new Donkey Kong game in sight, and we just had Mario Kart World for a long time, and that was the only time we saw the redesign, I feel like I would have just accepted it, but may have not been a fan of it. Whereas now, I'm just totally on board with all of this, and I'm excited to dive into the future of Donkey Kong. My hope is that those who still aren't okay with the new design, that eventually it grows on them, or that they can at least tolerate it, because I feel like Donkey Kong might finally have a bright future, after the long drought of no games we had from the Donkey Kong franchise for so long. For Nintendo to have the last game reveal of a new console direct be Donkey Kong, I feel like Nintendo is taking this series serious, and wants to push the franchise again. If they want to trade me a redesigned Donkey Kong for a plentiful future for Donkey Kong, then it's a deal. But can I bargain a K. Rool, please?